The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like expecting the leadership of a team captain on the football field, but getting a sea captain. You wouldn't settle for just anything for your team. Shouldn't it be the same for your insurance? So don't settle for just any insurance when you can go with a leader. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Welcome back once again to the Skating Penguin Network, everyone. It is Robbie here with Snail on the other side of the country. We're recording this on the evening of Wednesday, September 17th. We are back, and so are the Pittsburgh Penguins. We record this on the evening of the eve, I guess, of training camp for the 25-26 season. The Penguins will hold their first training camp practice this morning, as you're listening to this, on the 18th at the UPMC Lemieux Center outside of Pittsburgh. It has been a uneventful last couple of weeks for the Penguins, but long time coming. Training camp is here. Hockey is, again, a couple of weeks till the real thing starts, but it is good to have the boys back in town. But before we talk what the Penguins are up to in the upcoming training camp and some other news, I will toss it over to Snell to see how things have been on his side of the country in the time we've been away.
Yeah, Robbie, when was the last time we chatted? Was that before September?
Yeah, before right before Labor Day weekend.
It feels like we recorded that not that long ago. I mean, in hindsight, it really wasn't that long ago. But, I mean, you blink and it's the 17th of September all of a sudden now.
Yeah.
And, we basically have, just a little under 2 weeks until... 2 weeks until the end of the month here, and we're going to be kicking off October.
2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from this recording will be October 1st. We are, I believe, 20 days out from the Penguins' first game of the season.
From puck drop. We're almost there, man. We made it.
Yeah, it's been a long off season, but we are on the cusp now.
It's been summer passed by. It was all right. I think the official first day of fall is in 4 days?
I believe it's the 22nd, which would be Monday. So yeah, 5-6 days.
It's here. It's finally here. Although that summer sun in the Pacific Northwest, at least out here in my neck of the woods, it was a true blue summer up until a week ago. We had some kind of fall weather.
Yeah.
And it was so nice. We had I watched some football on last Sunday, and it was raining and windy and drizzly, true Seattle day. And then 2 days later, it was. I mean, yesterday it was 84 degrees. It was hot yesterday.
It's been climbing up here a little bit too.
That's what I wanted to ask you. How did that fall weather pan out in August? Did you guys end up getting a little bit more of summer's wrath, or did it stay pretty cool and kind of fall-esque?
Well, there was a stretch where I would say it was about as fall-esque as it can get in around Labor Day. It was legitimately highs in the 60s or low 70s, and lows in like the low 40s overnight.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was about as fall as you could get without it actually being like. Yeah, it was chilly, but it is kind of getting a bit of a. I don't know if you guys know they call it out there. We call it Indian summer. It's like a repeat of like it's not maybe not as hot and humid as like July, but it's a pickup of warm weather. This weekend is supposed to be low 80s, but then it's supposed to drop back down as we get closer to October. Temperatures are going to be fine again, but I will say the overnights have been very, very. I don't want to say chilly, but much. It's not like 80 during the day and 65 at night. The nights are definitely colder. The days are shorter. But we are definitely getting a little bit of a return of the higher temperatures. But for the most part, I think that fall is definitely creeping in and permanently here to stay, as Snail's cat makes an appearance on the podcast. But are you guys seeing any leaf changes yet out there?
No. No leaf changing yet, as much as I wish that was the case. There are a lot of dead pine needles on the ground.
Wow.
But yeah, not quite yet. I saw one of my friends is actually up in the Northeast, up in New Hampshire right now. How far is New Hampshire from you guys?
Depending on where you're, like, if you're just trying to get across the border, I'd say probably 8-9 hours. If you're just trying to get into New Hampshire, obviously a little bit more if you're trying to get toward the Canadian border. But yeah, I'd say probably 8-9 hours. It'd be a lot of just highway driving because there's not much. It'd be a lot of open forest and land. But yeah, I'd say 8-9 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, good run just to get to the state line.
Well, I saw in the photos that were shared on social media from this trip to New Hampshire my friend was on, it looked like I saw some orange leaves. Like I saw some changing there. Out here, I just don't think the temperatures dropped enough. And like I have to say, and it's kind of concerning, and this is a topic that, I'm not really like, I can't tell you what the reason for this is. But dude, in the summertime out here, especially like early, like usually in September, we get some rain growing up, like out here in Seattle. It doesn't rain in the summer anymore in Seattle. Like maybe once or twice. So I remember like growing up, by now there would be some like rainy days mixed in. I remember like, for example, going back to school. Did you ever go like back to school shopping, like every it's something a lot of, I'm sure a lot of just people who go to school go through it. It's definitely like a big deal in America. The back to school sales and all of that. It's like it's a tradition out here. I remember I'd get like a sweatshirt or a hoodie every year for the school year, and you'd actually have to wear it the first couple weeks of school. Nowadays, it's like, you could be in shorts and a t-shirt, it seems like now, for the whole month of September, and it's not really going to. So no leaf changes yet, which is a bummer, but it's coming. October, that starts to happen. Once those night temperatures start to drop, those nighttime temperatures, those lows hit, it'll start to happen for sure. And man, I can't wait for that. That's when you really start. It still feels like hockey, when it's like you got.
Yeah, there was like the beginning of the month. It really felt like hockey season. Like it felt like straight up like this is hockey season. And then now the warmer, but like it's been like that warm of like a early like a football season kind of warm, not a sweltering like I need to be at the pool all day kind of warm.
But we have campusy, like it's the campusy type of year, like campusy warm, right?
Yeah, like even when it's like warmer, like a light jacket doesn't even feel like you're overheating or anything. Like when it's in the summer, I don't even think of wearing a jacket.
No, God, no. I don't look at my hoodies until right around this time of year.
Yeah, Snell's got a beanie on right now. Like, I wouldn't even think of having my beanie's been packed away since like April. Like, I wouldn't even have to think of getting out a beanie yet in the summer, but. We do have it's been weird here. It's been super dry the last we're going almost 2 months at this point. Everything, the grass is brown. There's no grass to mow.
Too.
But I think it's been so dry that it's just like forcing the trees to conserve some water. So some are starting to change in some places.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been that dry. And it's not like a brown color change. They're turning their natural, beautiful colors. It's just happening like 2 weeks ahead of time. So
wow.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting and dry last couple of weeks here. But like you said, hockey season's here, and we kind of got our first taste this past weekend. Snail, I don't know if you tuned in or at least checked out anything on the Prospects Challenge this past weekend. And I'll preface this by saying there's literally nothing else to talk about. Like, there is no trades. There is no, at least with the Penguins, there's nothing really to touch on that we should have covered, that we missed on an episode or anything. So
I think I got one that we're missing that I just remembered.
Okay.
And you know, when you were talking about leaf changes, I thought about flowers dying, but there's a flower that didn't die. There's actually a flower that came back from.
There is, one flower blooming in Pittsburgh this right now. I'm kind of like, I love it. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. Obviously, unless you've been hiding under a rock, you know that we're talking about Marc-Andre Fleury's retirement ceremony, whatever we want to call it, starting or happening next weekend. The 26th, he will practice with the team. The 27th, he will play in parts of a preseason game in Pittsburgh against Columbus. And when that was announced, I heard somebody say that tickets for a preseason game were already hitting upwards of $250 to $300. So this might be the best attended preseason game in NHL history.
Yeah, are you going to try to go?
No, I can't afford that. That's insane. Like, I love him. I love Fleury dearly. I kind of got to see I saw his final shutout in Pittsburgh back in 2017. So I will leave on that moment of watching Fleury in a Penguins uniform in person. But exciting nonetheless, I will say.
Yeah, it's a great move by the organization. You know, I kind of like this a little bit more than just a one-day contract.
Love it so much better than that.
Like, he's going to actually be around the team for a while. And a guy like Marc-Andre Fleury, like, I don't know how you feel about it, but I want the guy to just enjoy retirement. Like, he's been, he's had like a hell of a career and a very eventful one. I mean, he's seen the ups, the downs. He's been traded. Like, when he didn't want to be traded, he's been, he's played on lottery teams, and he's played on Stanley Cup contender teams, and he's been every single place in between. Lost his starting job, been a backup. One of
Vezina.
He's he's literally seen it all. He's got his experience in the league is that's a guy that is just so full of experience, and part of me is like, I wish he would just stick around. Like, I wish they'd just hire him already in some capacity. But at the same time, I look at that guy and everything he's done, and how many times does he reference his family when talking about his, the last few years and talking about continuing playing hockey. He's always referenced his family, that it's going to be time for them to be put first. I just want the guy to be healthy and enjoy it, but after everything I just said, I'm like, man, is this preseason game he's going to play? I hope they televise it. I hope I don't have to find some choppy stream to watch Flower in his last game, in the NHL, technically in preseason. I hope they put it on NHL Network or something like that, because I'd love to watch it.
Yeah, stream it on the like YouTube or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. So I'm so happy for the guy, and it's. I'm so happy for the fans, and I'm excited to see how it all goes. It's way better than signing a one-day. Flower's such a gamer too. He's like, I'm not going to do the one-day contract. Let me get a little bit of action. Let me hang with Sid and Gino and Tanger. And, there's going to be some kids that are going to meet him for the first time that are playing for this team. And it's going to be overwhelming. Like, they're going to be at least, there's 4 Hall of Famers on that bench that game, that preseason game. Actually, okay, I don't know if Carlson, Gino, Sid are going to be playing, but I mean, that's going to be a hell of a locker room that day.
I have a feeling that they're going to do everything they can to get like Crosby, Malkin, and Fleury or Crosby, Malkin, and Letang to play in that game. Like I think it has to be like them four back. Even if like Sid Malkin and Letang don't take that many shifts. I mean, it's a preseason game, obviously, but like, yeah, it's a potential to be a very rowdy atmosphere. And there's a lot of kids that like grew up, like they were young in like 2014, 2015. They don't really remember, like they grew up with Crosby being the focal point, but maybe they have early memories of those cups in 2016, 2017, but don't really remember Marc-Andre Fleury as one of the faces of the franchise. So it'll be really cool for a lot of these younger kids to go and see Fleury and see what he meant to the city in this game. But it's going to be, I hope they make it as accessible as possible, obviously, whether that's putting it on the website or, like you said, NHL Network. Yeah, it should be a ton of fun, and it's so much better than just the one-day contract thing. So kudos to whoever came up with that idea. It's going to be a hit. I think it's going to be a great sending off to one of the most important players of this generation of Penguins and in Penguins history all time.
Oh yeah, that all goes without saying. I think that the NHL is going to miss a character like Fleury. We've talked about Fleury a lot on this podcast. He's a fan favorite. He's never. I mean, Robbie, you guys remember like watching the ups and downs, and he was such a great sport through it all. Like, he got his Vezina, but it wasn't in Pittsburgh. He got his Vezina, late in his career, actually.
Very late.
Very late in his career, and at least he got one. He's got the rings, and a lot of people like to bring up, it was Murray that won the Stanley Cup, but if you watched those series, they don't win those without Flower and Jeff Zatkoff in one of them. Mr. Game 1.
Yeah, Zatkoff, Mr. Game 1. You go back 2017, then Matt Murray gets hurt in warmups of Game 1 against Columbus, and and Fleury delivered a pretty much a masterclass in against Washington, especially in that Game 7 in 2017. Like, they don't win that series without him. He made a couple great saves in that Game 7, played pretty good in that entire series, helped them get past Columbus. But like any of those years, like even though he wasn't the regular number one, like, you don't win those cups without him. And it's hard. Maybe someday we'll find out what he meant behind the scenes when he was relegated to a backup role those years, because he could have been a pain in the ass and ruined and kind of thrown off the locker room. But he took his lumps. He accepted his role, and he let Matt Murray flourish. And I always go back to the Cup in 2017 when they're skating it around the ice and he takes it and hands it directly to Murray.
He's got love for his goalie union. He's one of the most respectful players who, some people, I know that like that the podcast, very popular hockey podcast, Spit and Chicklets, has really coined the term like tummy sticks, where like players are so friendly with each other now.
Yeah.
Whether you agree or disagree with that, I think that Fleury isn't a guy who plays tummy sticks. It's truly out of respect, because Fleury's the type of guy that's always wanted like a goalie fight, and he would fight that goalie that he goes up to and maybe taps on the shin pads if he's young or something and says, "Hey, like, let's have a game here." He'll go fight him. He'd probably want to fight him too if it got to that. Fleury never got that goalie fight. Maybe there'll be some maybe this preseason game.
Wouldn't that be something if that's where he scores his goal?
He scored Gordie Howe hat trick.
Gordie Howe hat trick in a that's.
What if he shoots on net and the goalie's not even pulled?
He might just start shooting the puck all day, just to hope maybe he takes a funky bounce somewhere along the line and
flips one down into the other team, under the goalie's crease down there, and hopes that hopefully it hits an edge and does like a like a shortstop sometimes gets a bad hop and it flicks over his shoulder.
Yeah.
So maybe he's hoping for something like that. So it's going to be tame, but it'd be cool if Fleury's probably going to have something up his sleeve.
I mean, you think so? I mean, he's going to do something crazy. You just know that's how Fleury's going to do. He might, yeah. He's going to do something crazy, and it's going to be a heck of fun to watch. That's next Saturday, the 27th.
He chops Sid in the back of the leg.
He's going to do something. He's going to do some kind of weird prank to Crosby or Malkin. You just know how he is. He's going to do a prank to one of the newest drafty kids, and just do something crazy to one of them. But no, it's going to be fun.
He hides Jari's gear for the rest of the season, so he can't find his hockey gear. Jari can't play.
That might not be bad. That might just be like a service.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to get in that locker room and see how things go, and he's going to be like, I know how I can help this team.
He's going to straight up come back. He's going to be like, you know what? I think I got one more in me.
Hey, how's this? How's this for a hypothetical? And you know, not to get controversial here, but would you take Marc-Andre Fleury at this age right now for the whole season as goaltender as your number one over Jari, or would you rather have Jari over Fleury for this coming season?
I think I'd rather have Fleury for a whole season, and I'm not even just saying that from a nostalgia point, because I think that that maximizes the amount of games that Chivas can play, because I mean, we split that 41-41, something like that. I mean, Fleury was playing a decent amount of games last year, so he's not that far removed from playing a good chunk of games. But again, I'm a Chivas guy. I think that they need to give him as much run as possible. So I'm kind of in that boat, and I think Fleury would help that thought, but. And also, I think, being able to move Jari and get that money off the books and get some draft capital in return would be good.
Yeah, I agree. I just think I would. How old is Fleury? Is he 40?
Let's see, I have it up here. Marc-Andre.
He's got to be 40. I mean, he's drafted in 2000. Was it 2001?
2004. He is.
Oh,
he's almost 40. He'll be 41 in end of November. So he's well over 40.
Who was drafted in 2001s by the Penguins? Was that Bugsy Malone? Or Brooks Orpik? One of those guys was drafted in 01, wasn't it?
Let's take a look here real quick. The Penguins 2001. They would have been okay. That was the last year they were like. Okay, the Pittsburgh Penguins selected Colby
Armstrong?
Colby Armstrong in the first round. Yep, 21st overall.
I knew someone significant, pretty significant was drafted that year. But anyways, yeah, Fleury, I would take 40-year-old Fleury right now over Jari. That's how I'm entering the season. You know, I mean, we've tried to be optimistic before, Robbie, and I'm going to see Fleury in net for a period and a half in an exhibition game, and the second he leaves, there's gonna be a tear rolling down my eye, because I know it's gonna be goalie drama the rest of the year between Jari, the new fellow we got with the massive head, and the two kids down in Wilkes-Barre. So yeah, well, this could take a sharp turn into negativity. So I'm gonna veer away from that, but. Hell of an idea by the organization to give Fleury his flowers, so to say, one last time, and do it in a unique way.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's definitely something to look forward to over the next couple of weeks here as training camp kicks into high gear. Which, by the time you're listening to this, the Penguins will be on the ice in Cranberry for practice number 1. Of training camp. There are 69 total players on the training camp roster. That does not include injured players like Rucker McGroarty and Noel Acciari. So those guys will be at camp, but they will not necessarily participate right away. But yeah, there are, counting Fleury, there are 8 goaltenders at training camp. The injured names are Noel Acciari, Tanner Howell, Peyton Kettles, Rucker McGroarty, and Bill Zonin. Obviously, Kettles and Zonin were drafted this year. Aren't going to make the team, but hopefully they do get some ice time in these coming weeks, so we can get a and look at them and they get some experience with some of the older guys. But yeah, it kicks off tomorrow, and I mean, I think we're just ready at this point now.
Oh yeah, and I'm taking a look here. So something that I think we should touch on here quickly is with this being the eve of training camp, they invited 69 players to camp.
Yeah, nice.
69, nice. That's what I was waiting for.
Yep.
Robbie, something that this has been kind of the case for the last 2 years that just is, I can't get over it sometimes, is the defensive, the slog in defense here.
The defense is just every year. I don't
really understand it, and I wish we could have Dubas on and he could really kind of just give us a layman's terms answer here. But I mean, you've got, a lot of people forget Jack St. Ivany. He a couple years ago, he had a good showing for the Penguins. He was pretty solid back there. He got hurt last year. You've got Jack St. Ivany and Ryan Shea. You've got this Parker Wotherspoon guy who, 6'1", 190. He's a left shot D, young guy. We'll see what he's got. And then, you already forgotten about Owen Pickering? You have Chris Letang. You have Erik Karlsson. But then you've also got this Caleb Jones kid that they picked up. They've got on the right side alone, they have Karlsson, Letang, Matt Dumba, veteran Matt Dumba. You've got Connor Clifton, another right shot D who was traded for, they got him from Buffalo. I already said Ryan Graves. And then they've got young Harrison Brunnicke trying to make the team. They've got that Scooter Brickley, who's, I forget where he signed to an AHL deal. Maybe. Yeah. They've got Sebastian Aho, and no, not that Sebastian Aho.
Not that Sebastian Aho.
They've got this Alexander Alexiev, who they got from, they signed him. He was with the Capitals. He was playing NHL games for the Capitals. So, I mean, that's not to mention they've got this Emil Peineman kid and Chase Patilla. They've got some young guys that are probably just going to play in the AHL. But, I mean, dude, that's a lot of defensemen, man.
Ryan Shea's still on the roster.
Ryan Shea's a good defenseman, I think.
Yeah, Ryan Shea.
I like him.
He is a left-sided defenseman, but he's still there. I mean, he still exists. But, I mean, you just, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
I mean, there's 14, at least 10 NHL caliber defensemen on this team.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of defensemen here. And I just don't know where does the dam break here at some point? Because you only have, you're going to carry at most 7, and at least 3 of those guys, being Karlsson, Letang, and Dumba, are probably already penciled in. Now that's the right-hand side. And then you look at guys like Ryan Graves is still on the team. Like you said, Alexiev, Sebastian Aho has played in the NHL. Caleb Jones, Connor Clifton, Pickering is there, of course, as well. But there's just a lot of guys, Parker Wotherspoon and Ryan Shea in that conversation as well. I mean, you have 15 guys potentially fighting for what is essentially 7 spots. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of defensemen to pick from. It's going to be interesting to see how they trim it down in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You're going to want some of those guys to play in Wilkes-Barre. I know that, Kyle Dubas has, gone out of his way to, part of his role here and his plan here in Pittsburgh was to bolster the American Hockey League team and make them competitive as well. So you've got a good, healthy farm system to, if there's injuries, pluck guys that, are able to play in the NHL. So a lot of these guys are going to go down there. But even with you could fill out the AHL and the NHL and maybe the ECHL roster with all the people coming to training camp. All the defensemen coming to training camp. You know what I mean? You could fill out those D lineups with them. The other thing is, you touched on it for a second there. I mean, they got a lot of goaltenders, man. They've got, one of them, Marc-Andre Fleury is on this list of 69 players going to camp. They've got Tristan Jarry and they've got Artur Shilovs. They've got Sergei Murashev, Taylor Gauthier, Philip Larson, Joel Blomqvist. Those are four decent, young prospects, let's call them.
Yep.
And then they've got this Maxim Pavlenko, who they have signed to an AHL deal. God, he's a big boy. He's 6'5", 205, born in 2002. He's 23 years old. He played in the VHL. I have no idea where that is, but 281 goals against. He's wherever he played, he's a big cat though, so that's something. But I mean, man, that's a lot of goaltenders to.
8 goals. That's I mean, well, 7. I mean, Fleury obviously is one of those included there, but that's a lot of goaltenders they're going to have to find ice time for here. I mean, obviously,
and do you Robbie? How do you put it? Adding Shilovs really added to the confusion this year with. I think a lot of us had the thought that Jari's going to still be up here in the NHL, and you're going to bring a kid up. Some kid's going to play his way up into the NHL backup role, and he's going to get some looks in the NHL. I think a lot of us thought that was it. You go out and get Artur Shilovs, who's actually had an outstanding performance in the NHL playoffs at one point. I think he battled some injury last year, and the Canucks weren't as good of a team last year.
He was the AHL, the Calder Cup playoffs MVP.
He was the Calder Cup playoffs MVP. Yeah. He's ready for the NHL. The Canucks gave up on him. They traded him, the confusion everywhere surrounding this. The Penguins pick him up. Dubas picks him up. And I'm like, is this our number one goalie prospect now?
That's what I thought. I mean, I think obviously everybody's going to look at Sergei Murashov. Obviously that's going to be what sticks out. But I mean, Shivas, he has NHL experience. He had the Calder Cup run. I mean, you have to think that he is. Everything seems to be leaning toward health aside, assuming he's healthy. He is on the opening night roster. He is. Maybe he performs so well. He is your starter on opening night. I don't know, but you have to think it's Jarry and him right now, and Blomqvist and Murashov are splitting duty. Down in the AHL, which means that, again, Philip Larson is still in this mix too, a guy that has played in the NHL as well. So
Philip Larson had a great year last year. There were times last year, Robbie, we had conversations where I said, call that kid up. He's having a hell of a year.
Yeah, I mean, when everything was going bad with Jarry and he was waived and we thought that he was pretty much done in Pittsburgh, I really thought, for the long-term solution, Philip Larson is probably the guy that should fill in.
Yeah, because there wasn't the whole pressure around Blomqvist. People were kind of seeing, hoping Blomqvist or Murashov would be a savior that year. That's a lot to put on a kid. Why not just Philip Larson was having a great year. Why not give him a shot? And he never got one. So I don't know. The goalie thing it's no more clear. It's actually more convoluted, I think, than it was just a year ago, where it was a point of contention with fans in the team was the goaltending. And here we are a year later, and the waters are murkier than ever. But I mean, I guess the one thing that should make you feel better is you got 4 lottery tickets in as far as prospects go, and all of them are looking pretty good. And then you've also got Jarry is an NHL goaltender, and as much as we've seen his body of work over the last few years, but you got this Shilovs kid who his upside looks like he could be stud category, number one starter.
And maybe the idea is you just cross your fingers that Jarry goes out and puts up good decent numbers, and it makes someone finally take the bait and make the trade.
You're just hoping, man. You are just hoping you can polish him up and get
unless somebody would be like, let's take a swing on Blomqvist, which I just don't see enough of a track record there at the NHL level that you're going to get anything remotely worth value out of that at all. Shivas has very little track record and got a 4th or 5th round pick. Blomqvist has even less than that. So Blomqvist is obviously, but I think that I don't know. The goaltending situation, it still confuses me a little bit, and that's going to probably be outside of what are we going to do with all these defensemen. I'm really interested to see just how they manage the workloads of these goalies in the preseason.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see because it's going to be like musical chairs. I think there's going to be a lot of people getting iced. You're trying to find you're trying to find ice time for a lot of different guys.
Absolutely.
And you know, I wonder what the Fleury effect will be on maybe some of these guys. And I know that sounds like a reach because we know Fleury's not going to be sticking around as far as we know with the team for long, but who's going to see the glimmer in Fleury's eye and be like, I'm copying everything that guy does and I'm picking his brain while he's here.
That'd be fantastic. I hope
who's going to be the one that I'd love to see him and Murashov just like working together. Remember how we saw Sid with in the what was it? Was it the Spangler Cup or the World Cup? What do they play in the summertime? The hockey tournament.
The World
Sid
Championship?
was the World Championship. Sid was hanging out with Macklin Celebrini. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
I'd love to see a couple of clips of Fleury singling out like Murashov and just being like, I see something in this kid. Let's chat. Let's I don't know. I don't know what goalies do, to be honest. I don't know what they, if they work on drills together. I don't know how that all works. I know with position players how it kind of works, but whatever it is with that goalies do, I'd love to see that. Or who knows? Would you ask Fleury after his stint with the Penguins, his little stint? Would you go up to him and be like, "What do you see like in these guys? Do you see anything with these guys?"
I could absolutely see them asking that question. I don't know. I hope that he's around the team for like a little more than just those 2 days. Just like because like Crosby obviously trusts them. I'm assuming there's enough of a good rapport there between someone in the front office that could go down, and there's got to be some kind of conversation. Maybe him and Spezza are friends or something like that. That they can chat, and maybe him and Kyoto never crossed paths, I don't think, in Pittsburgh, but like maybe there's some dialogue there that can be had. That hey, maybe they say, hey, what? Just your honest thoughts, what we're looking at here. Again, him and Jari obviously spent time together in the Penguins organization. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what all plays out. But, I'm excited for this camp just to see what – there's a lot of camp battles. That's kind of the situation you're in when you're a team like the Penguins. But very interested to see what happens these next few weeks because there's a lot of again, we don't expect the Penguins to be great, but there's a lot of intrigue, which is more than you can say for a team that is supposedly rebuilding.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
You're tuned into Auto Intelligence, live from Auto Trader, where data, tools, and your preferences sync to make your car shopping smooth.
They're searching inventory.
Oh, yeah.
They find what you need.
They're gonna find it.
You can make a budget for your wallet to help you succeed. Pricing's precise and true.
So true.
It's smarter car shopping.
Ooh.
Just for you.
Oh, it's just for you. Ooh. Find your next ride at autotrader.com. Powered by Auto Intelligence.
That's the sound of the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron and the quiet confidence of ultra-smooth handling. The elevated interior reminds you this is more than an EV. This is electric performance redefined.
As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games. Excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
Yeah, it's going to be so interesting to see, Robbie. We're going to have a lot to talk about. And, we're so starved for hockey that these first, with these whispers that are going to be coming out of training camp and all of that, it's going to be some good fodder for us to argue about and bring things up. And, one player actually we didn't mention on there because he's not a defenseman, nor is he a goaltender. This caught my eye today. I don't know when this came through. It looks like it came through today. Maybe that's why I thought it was sneaky under the radar. But the Penguins actually went out and grabbed a guy on a PTO here.
Yeah.
And so far, I think this is the only one the Penguins have right now coming to camp. I don't know if that can change or not going forward, but the Penguins are bringing into camp Ontario's own, once very highly touted prospect, and he's a Stanley Cup winner, actually.
He is.
Former St. Louis Blue, Robbie Fabry. And this caught my eye because, there were years where I was trading for Robbie Fabry on NHL in Chell to bring him onto my team because he's just got such a wicked shot, and he was this guy had a lot of buzz around him when he first came into the league back.
Former first round pick.
First round pick. He broke into the league 15-16. So I remember hearing a buzz about this guy, but man, you talk about somebody that's had bad luck with injuries. That one of his knees is, I don't even know what they're using to hold that thing together anymore. I think he's torn the same ACL maybe like 3-4 times, and then I think he's also torn the other one once or twice. This guy's knees are being held together with, glue and God only knows what, because I think they've been through the ringer. I didn't even know he played in the NHL last year. I see here he played with Anaheim.
He played half a season, but
half a season with the Ducks.
Yeah, if you just look through his games played though, his first year in 2015, 2016, 72 games. That's his career high, and that was 10 less, or at least 10 games missed there. But you have you have to count the shortened years. He still played 61 in 1920, which they ended the season after 65 games or something like that. So that was kind of a full season. But man, it just every year after
51,
that, it's just
32, 52.
Yeah.
He played 9 in 2019-20.
That was 9 with St. Louis.
With St. Louis, he actually went
50.
back.
He played 52 with Detroit that year.
Oh, because he got traded. Oh, my bad. I see that. 52 with Detroit, and then he went back to St. Louis for 9. Then back to the Red Wings. He had 30, 56, 28, 68, 44 with Anaheim. I mean, this guy does not get... This guy will... It'll be a miracle if he gets through it. Let's hope he gets through training camp, for Christ's sake.
Let's see if he makes the team first. But again, that's what a PTO is for. It's a flyer. There's no contractual obligation. If he doesn't make the team, you just release him from his PTO. So that's the kind of guy you take a flyer on and see how it works out. Then maybe Fabry comes in, has a good training camp, and is a guy that even if he's here till the deadline, a guy that you flip, he puts together. Because if he can go out there and put together a pace of 18 goals or 32 points in 68 games, that's going to get you some trade interest come around the deadline.
It is. No, totally. And, I'm going to be rooting for the kid because...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, from what I've heard, he's a great guy. And like I said, it's just injuries plagued this dude. The skill's always been there. It's just health has not been on his side. So it'll be interesting to see. Was it just last year that they had Puljujärvi, or was that 2 years ago he was
last year?
That was last year he was on the PTO?
No, he was on the team last year. PTO was...
Oh, PTO 2 years ago, on the team last year. Okay. Yeah. Well, is there who's left that's a remaining UFA? I think that Jack Roslovic kid, he's a centerman. He's still not signed. Heard that our boy Matt Grzelcyk got picked up on a PTO by the Chicago Blackhawks, which honestly, that's a great move for the Blackhawks. I think he's a great fit for that team.
I mean, they're
if that is true.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything official yet, but it looks like he is going to be joining them on a PTO. And again, a team like Chicago is going to need offensive help, and we know that Matt Grzelcyk, he doesn't do much defensively, but he can definitely improve your power play. So yeah, hopefully see if he can crack the lineup there. That's not an extremely deep team, obviously. So if he puts together a solid camp, you have to think that he might find his way into a 1-year deal with Chicago Blackhawks this season, because Chicago is going to be bad again. I don't know. At some point, that rebuild hits hits neutral, and yeah.
As far as remaining UFAs, man, that Jack Roslovic.
I can't believe Roslovic's not somewhere.
You have to think he's picking a spot. Like, he's picking a spot as far he's Max Pacioretty. Would you sniff on Max Pacioretty?
Patches doesn't have a contract?
He doesn't.
Patches was great for Toronto in the playoffs last year.
I thought Patches was great in the role that he was playing. I thought
he's obviously not a first line. He's not a first line player anymore.
But he'll score you some goals. Like he's like Kevin Hayes if Kevin Hayes played like a prick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't believe Patches. That's kind of surprising. I mean, he had 8 points in 11 playoff games. Like,
how do you not sign that guy? Even if the regular season's a wash for him, just get him to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a guy that I don't know what he's asking for contract wise. Maybe he's waiting until early November to see what teams come calling when players don't work out and stuff like that. So he could be just holding out for a straight 1-year contract somewhere, which I don't blame him. He has enough pedigree and reputation that he probably could easily get a 1-year deal. A 1-year deal done somewhere. But yeah, kind of surprised that Patches doesn't have a contract somewhere, given given talk about a guy that had injuries. He had those big years, and then he just hit the injury bug, and it just did not stop biting.
Well, that Achilles, man, those Achilles tears, that's one that's
hit or miss.
Just rehabbing it can set you back, because that's just how that part of your body goes. They call it the Achilles for a reason, right?
So, Achilles heel, your weakness, it's tough. And you can't move your feet with it. Like, it's not one of those you can play through at all. I know some guys try to play through ACL tears in the past.
You could play through like a broken foot easier than like a Achilles.
Because you need, like, your leg literally doesn't work without it. It's the spring that pretty much makes everything go. Like, you can't can't move your leg without it. It's tough. And he had a knee injury too, I think, mixed in there too. But man, when he was in his prime, dude, few could score at the level of Max Pacioretty.
He can fill the net. He's a good American kid, like leadership, all that. When he was with the Habs, man, I mean, when it was him, Price, and PK, like, that was a formidable team.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with that.
But I guess as far as UFAs and PTOs, that's kind of all the news that the Penguins have at the moment. I would be shocked. I'd like to see, just like bring in Patches or whatever, bring him in for a PTO, see how that goes. But, oh man, I was going to say, do the Penguins still have that Lizotte kid?
Yeah, Blake Lizotte's still on the team. I think so. Blake, he's there. Yeah, I'm like, I had to check. You made me doubt myself for a second. I'm like, Anthony Mantha.
Yeah, Mo Mantha.
Oh, Brett Murray is a PTO guy as well.
Who is Brett Murray?
He is a forward who played most of the season last year in Rochester of the AHL. He did play 3 games with the Sabres, but he played 66 games with the Rochester Americans, 27 goals, 22 assists, 49 points.
Hey, not bad. Maybe he
so
could be
that is a guy that I could very easily see
not
making the team, but signing like a 2-way and playing a chunk of the season in Wilkes-Barre and being like one of the first call-up guys.
Who's that? What was his name again?
Brett Murray. Brett Murray.
Brett Murray. He's from Bolton, Ontario. And I just wanted to see here, what did he have PIMS-wise? 29 PIMS. How tall is he? He's 6'5", 228 pounds. This is a big kid. Born in 1998. Huh. Well, I'm always looking to see if they're going to add a little bit of piss and vinegar to this lineup with Bokanji Imama still recovering from surgery. Yeah, any other surprises to you when you look at this roster? I mean, like, they've got 69 is a lot. That's a lot of players, Robbie.
Yeah, I again, there's going to be cuts early. Some of these guys, I don't even know, probably won't even play in a preseason game. Now, I hope that, I don't know what the plan is, but I'd love to see, like, Kindle get a shot in a preseason game. Just some of these, just get a shot. Yeah, like, Brunike's going to be there until the very end. Obviously, I just really hope because he's too good for the WHL. He just, I just wish there'd be a spot for him. I just don't know.
Sorry, for who?
Harrison Brunike.
Harrison Brunike, I know. It sucks you've got Hall of Fame, like, a Hall of Famer and a borderline Hall of Famer in front of him on the right side there. Oh,
yeah, unless a trade happens between now and then, but man.
Hold on, my phone alarm's going off. Sorry about that. I have an alarm on my phone that forgot to turn off. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some of these players too. I wanted to bring this up. Remember they got that Justin Brazeau?
Yeah, Brazeau. Yeah, the monster.
Yeah, he's 6'7".
That's without
pounds.
skates on. That's without skates on.
That's without skates on.
Don't forget, we got Boko healthy and ready to rumble.
Boko Imama. They've got that Juna Koppanen.
Yep,
he's 6'5", 216.
Yeah, I will say though, I'll give you a bold prediction here. I will say that by Christmas, you will see a healthy amount of Boko Imama jerseys at PPG Paints Arena.
Yeah, like, I mean, how did he not endear himself to the Penguins? Like,
he's gonna do, like, I'm trying to think of like a comparative. He's gonna be like George Laraque, except with maybe a little more skill.
He's way better skater.
Like, George Laraque was a statue.
That guy, I'm sorry, like, he could beat the wheels off of anybody. Like, he was one of the most feared NHL enforcers of all time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in this day and age, like, I mean, that guy could. He's not the most athletic guy.
He couldn't be in the NHL. He would not be able to keep up with. I don't know how Gill would be in the NHL these days.
You don't know what?
How Gill could play in the NHL? Like,
no, I mean, not like, right now.
Gill was like, I know we loved Hal Gill. Hal Gill was great. But man, was he slow on his feet. But Laraque had one job. That was to protect Sidney Crosby, and he was damn good at it. And the fans loved him for it.
Oh, I loved, and he was also like, Georges Laraque was also like so feared, but he was like, he's a golden retriever puppy on outside of the rink. Like, you know what I mean? He loves the fans. He loves being an NHLer. He loves he was such a great. Boko Imama sort of cut. They're both from Quebec, aren't they? They're both from Montreal.
I think Boko's from. Let's see here. Boko Imama. There it is.
Oh, you're right. Boko seems to be healthy. Like he
missed the end of last season, but yeah, he is healthy, and yes, he is from Montreal.
So yeah, I mean, Georges Laraque, welcome back, but in a much more. I mean, Boko scored a hell of a goal last year too.
That was a snipe. I remember.
He had an absolute goal scorer snipe.
Yeah, that was not like a stand in front of the net, let the puck bounce off your ass. That was like.
That wasn't a Paul Bissonnette goal.
No, that was a nasty little wrist shot in that game. So yeah, I do recall that. That was, and like, hey man, just go again. He's never had an extended run in the NHL. Like, again, his job's not going to be score goals, obviously, but like, go out there, lay the body, and you're going to get rewarded at some point. Like, if you defend Crosby, you're going to get a chance to skate with Crosby, and just by standing on the ice with Crosby, you're going to get a shot or two at a goal, a prime scoring chance. So, all credit in the world to Boko. The dude, they're going to be chanting his name at some point in PPG Paints Arena this season.
I honestly kind of hope he gets some more fights under his belt, because I felt like with Sullivan, and this is, going back to Sully, he did not like retaliation. He said that's, Sullivan, he had his tough guys over the years, and he had his guys that he would put out there in situations that, to fight. Like, going back to when he was a assistant coach with Tortorella. I mean, Tortorella had Tom Sestito, and then the Penguins picked up Tom Sestito when Sullivan was here. And Sullivan, I'll never forget that game against Winnipeg where Gino had to answer the bell against Blake Wheeler. And he sent Tom Sestito out right after they made the parade to the penalty box. He throws Tom Sestito out, and he fights Chris Thorburn.
Yeah.
And they have a tilt, like a 2.5 minute tilt. Aside from those instances, Sullivan did not like his players retaliating. He was out there to win games, and he wanted his team to score goals and be hard to play against. He wasn't necessarily he didn't have time for the fighters and the big tough guys. Well, with Sullivan gone now, and this team kind of being, I would call, aimless at the moment, if they're tanking, not tanking, but if they're bad enough for a lottery pick, they're going to kind of stay that path, I think. If they're a playoff team, they're going to stay that path, There's going to be moments where I believe it with every ounce of my being that there's still a place for fighting in hockey, and I'd love to see a couple more fights from Boko. I mean, the Penguins didn't fight much, but there are teams in the league, there were individuals in the league last year that had a decent amount of fights, that they go out there every couple of nights, and they just know that that's going to be a part of the game that night. And I mean, you look across the state of a team like the Flyers. I want to see Boko playing the Flyers tough, and I don't mean running around being a Matt Cook. I want him out there making space, making big hits. There's a lot of young players, and I just want to. I'm going to be chanting Boko's name from my armchair this year a lot, I think, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, the leader in fights last year was 15. Matthew Olivier.
That guy is a tough customer.
Yeah,
and he can play.
Yeah, and then you can't just be a fighter, and like if you want a fighter in the NHL in these days, you can't just be a fighter. Let's put it like that.
True.
Tom Sestito would have no role in the NHL these days. You got to be able to produce. I think Boko can do that. I think Boko, again, I don't think Boko needs to fight like 20 times. Obviously, you don't want to beat yourself up too much. But, Matthew Olivier had 15 fights, and then Brandon Duham had 10. Him and Mark Kostelik each had 10. So that was the tied for second there, and then it drops off pretty significantly after that. But
you know who else can fight that they have on this team I don't know if that'll be his role with this team either, but because he's not an enforcer type. But that Connor Dewar, that kid is
Dewar's gonna be, I don't know if he's gonna, like you said, a fighter, but he's gonna be one of those dudes that ends up with like a bunch of roughing minors while taking another guy with him. And
100%.
Also scoring like 10 or 15 goals.
God, last year he was on pace for, he was going to be goal a game.
He came over to Pittsburgh and he couldn't stop scoring.
I know, which was amazing. I'm glad that he's still around for at least another year. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting, man. There's so many little fun stories that'll come out of camp. There's just such an interesting mix with this team because that's where the Penguins are at. You've got the kids, you've got the prospects, you've got the veterans, that's for sure. And there's always a story hovering around with the veterans, whether it's Gino, Letang, Sid, of course, Fleury this year for fun for a couple of days. And then you've got a bunch of depth guys in between that. It'll just be interesting to see how this all shakes out, which, I know, like you and me, Robbie, like I am so excited for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. There was the whole, I don't want to get too deep into it, but the whole comments by Crosby's agent that kind of muddled the waters the past couple weeks. That was kind of weird. Yeah, Crosby came out during the season ticket delivery and pretty much
said what he said since he signed the contract.
Yeah, smooth things over. But that's going to be red meat to the Canadian media, so we get that entire one thing that could distract us from the Crosby garbage this year is Connor McDavid is entering a contract year.
Yes. A little taste of your own medicine.
Yeah. So hopefully, that kind of puts some of the Crosby stuff on the back burner.
I hope he doesn't sign. I hope he doesn't sign until.
Either.
Well, I mean, if he resigns in Edmonton, I hope that he just drains Brian Hayes and those Canadian media guys. I hope that by Thanksgiving that they're asking people to stop asking them.
Let's just hypothetical here, because Crosby would never do this, but just think of how funny it would be if, like, let's say it's November, the Penguins aren't doing so hot, the Crosby stuff starts ticking up, and he just goes out and says, you know what, like, I said it, like, somebody asked him, like, hey, this is what somebody said on a podcast or whatever, and he just says, hey, like, yeah, the Pittsburgh's where I want to be, and, me and Connor have had some discussions, and he doesn't have a like, and just like maybe we'll talk at the Olympics, and just like throw that, because that would the world, like the Canadian hockey media would just it would implode if Crosby came out and like hinted that him and Connor have talked about hooking up in like Pittsburgh or something like that.
That I think that there would be Canadian media members like
would literally Brian just like
Hayes. Someone would pass out.
Brian Hayes, they'd be in like the middle of broadcasting a game, and Brian Hayes would come in with like a breaking news segment, like in the middle of a hockey night in Canada or something like that. And Brian Hayes would be like, "We've just heard from Sidney Crosby, and he's saying that he alluded that him and Connor McDavid had discussions about possibly teaming up on a team to be determined. Is it Colorado? Is it?"
Oh my god! I think there would be a media member that would actually fall over, like if Sid went out and said something like that.
You would, yeah. And one of the Canadian, like, Spit Chicklets next week would be one of the funniest episodes of all time.
Yeah, which usually by like week 4 or 5, I'm already kind of tired of Spittin' Chicklets they're a great podcast, and they really do a lot for hockey, and it's great. But it's even some of their stuff, sometimes I'm just like, okay, I'm not tuning in this week. I can't deal with that. But yeah, they would be all over it. I mean, Elliot Friedman would probably have a heart attack and be like, how he's going to be camping outside of either of their houses for weeks to come to try to get the scoop. It would be chaos. It would be it would be bedlam.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, Crosby won't do it, but it would be really funny.
It would be funny. I would love it. I would love to see anything that kind of twists the knife with, because they do it to us.
Oh,
they do it ruthlessly.
If it happens, it's really just taking your own medicine. That's all.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just I would love to twist the knife a bit for them because of what they put everyone else through. So. But that would be something, McDavid, he did allude to, maybe he's going to sign an extension. Maybe there would be no extension. Maybe he sees Sid. Maybe he goes, you know what? Wayne went to Gordy went to
Hartford.
Detroit.
No.
Didn't Gordy play in the WHA?
He did. He played. Yeah.
Did he play in the WHA first?
Let's see. He went from. No, he was in Detroit, and then he went to the Houston Aeros of the WHA, and then he came back for one final run in the NHL with the Hartford Whalers.
Okay, so like Gordy went to Hartford, Gretzky went to LA, and maybe McDavid's looking, if I'm not going to stay here, maybe he's like, let's just keep the flame lit in Pittsburgh.
I'd be down for it.
Maybe they get Gavin McKenna this year. You've got Sid, McDavid, Gavin McKenna, and
all of a sudden Crosby feels pretty good about signing that. He's signing more extensions.
Oh yeah, he might be the next Gordie Howe.
Yeah, he might be playing till 50. He's playing till McDavid retires at that point. Even if he's just taking like third line minutes, he's playing until McDavid's like, I'm done.
Absolutely, why not? I mean, I don't know. Could happen. Never say never.
Never say is correct.
Well, Robbie, other than that, man, it's still slim pickings, but like we said, I mean, things are going to start. Unfortunately, the first things that are going to start happening are going to be, injuries probably. The Penguins have a few guys injured right now, don't they?
Yeah, there was.
I think Rutger McGroarty's injured.
McGroarty, Achari,
Tanner Howe.
Of guys that you would think are going to be at least competing for a roster spot.
I mean, how hurt are they?
Doesn't really say. They're all going to be at camp, so I guess it's not too bad. I haven't heard anybody say anything like McGroarty is supposed to miss significant time or anything. Achari.
Didn't McGroarty miss the end of the season last year?
Yeah, he got hurt late in the season.
And he's still not ready for main camp. And he missed the prospect challenge with the same injury, so I mean, dude, Robbie, I don't want to be annoying already, but this Rutger kid, he needs to be healthy and ready for this. I mean, he needs to get the full camp experience. I think he needs to hit the ground running this year, because it's not to put pressure on the guy. The trade happened. It is what it is with him and Jaeger. Jaeger is still not in the NHL. He's not NHL ready, and I'm not trying to use that as a measuring bar necessarily, but like, the whole point they went out and got him was because he was more NHL ready. Like, it was a pretty good trade for both sides, but one was a little bit more NHL ready, and it's been a little bit of a slower process than I think fans wanted. I think it's been a little bit of a slower process for both the organization and the player. And there's nothing you can do. An injury is an injury, but you know what it's like. I mean, you've been watching hockey long enough and following it that these players that miss this training camp and they don't hit the ground running when the season starts, they're playing catch up all year. And
we kind of saw it with Carlson last year. I mean, Carlson's a great player.
Big time.
He really struggled.
He's a veteran. He's a natural. He's a talented veteran. And even he never got caught up. Not once this year. I felt like. I mean, he had some glimpses, but. And, where Carlson's game's at nowadays, I don't know if we'll get a full reading until maybe he's out of Pittsburgh at some time to really see where he's been at. They say never judge a defenseman on a bad team. But we all know Carlson's game. I'm looking at Rutger McGroarty, and I'm thinking, don't rush him back into this, but it would just be a bummer if he can't hit the ground running and really get up to speed with the team. Because he's a big part of it going forward now. I mean, he's not just a prospect. There's expectations on this kid to contribute and be a gamer for these guys.
Would absolutely agree with that.
But other than that, Robbie, not a whole lot. Let's hope that, like I said, the injuries news, let's keep that to a minimum. And there's going to be some fun stuff coming out too. So it'll be interesting to see what's up with these PTOs, if anyone sticks around. It'll be interesting to see who gets cut, because, cuts come pretty quick.
Yeah, when you have this many players, cuts are going to come probably right after that first preseason game, which is on Monday. So, we're going to see cuts quick, because then what guys go to the Wilkes-Barre will be determined at that point, and then, they'll kick off as well.
That it will. But other than that, Robbie, I mean, fall is almost here officially. Football is off and running. The Seahawks actually beat the Steelers, in case you didn't watch on Sunday, which I don't think anyone expected that, but it is what it is. Baseball's, playoffs are about a month away, which is, I'm sure the Pirates are out of it, aren't they?
They are. Seattle is certainly not.
They're not, but I never hold my breath with this team. So it's a great time for sports coming up, guys. It's a great time. Yeah. We're entering, for people I think like you and me, Robbie. This is like peak. This is peak time of year.
Yeah, it is close to peak time of year. Absolutely.
Well, that's all I got, man.
All right, man. Well, that will do it for this episode of the Skating Penguin Network. By the time you're listening to this, the Penguins will be training camp open. But we're going to get back on a more regular schedule here as the season.
Yes, we will.
As the season kicks off, some mailbags, some team news. We're gonna have we're gonna actually have hockey to talk about now, because the sport's back, and that's what we've been waiting all summer for. So, for Snail, I'm Robbie. We'll talk to you guys here in the near future. Enjoy the rest of your week.